Welcome to the Chromatic Connection, a space where vibrant minds collide and the hue of human expertise blend into something extraordinary. I'm your host, Fatima Al Shirawi, and every week we dive into a kaleidoscope of ideas, stories, and wisdom shared by experts across industries. Diverse mind meets and ideas shine in full color. Hi everyone, I'm your host Fatima Al Shirawi, and today our episode is all about color psychology. So everybody always asks me, you're a color psychologist, what is it exactly that you do? And people are very confused, what is color psychology? So I can explain in two interesting points. Number one, color is always influencing us. We're always talking about color. We're always applying color in every single thing in our life. So the key thing to learn about color is that 80% of our emotion or our reaction to a color is normally unconscious, which means how profound we are influenced literally on daily basis with the colors we have in our interior, what you are wearing, what the other person is wearing, and how you react to them. The second principle is that each person has a main and a subordinate personality. So our main personality usually has to do with our DNA, the region that we come from. So you notice that even as individuals coming from particular regions, we're always also attracted to particular colors. And the reason for that is, as we said, it's part of your DNA. But at the second aspect of color is that we also have color symbolism. So, for example, the colors we've been surrounded by growing up, the colors that are have certain meanings through our culture, our religion, or even sometimes a personal experience. So this is how we judge when it comes to the colors. The second part of our personality is usually, I would say, our ancestors. So that small percentage that you have, which is also a region that you come from. So there's a secondary group of colors that you're unconsciously attracted to. So how do we understand this process? Is through color analysis. So I have been applying a system called the color effects theory, which was created by Angela Wright. She is a color psychologist from the UK, and I was very honored to be taught by her in London College of Fashion. And then I went on to actually certify as a color psychologist from her institute. So here, how we applied this system was that we would analyze the individual by asking them particular personality questions. Their answers would put them in a particular personality. And as a principle, we have 4 different personalities, which in general, as we see on TikTok in color analysis, you have an autumn, a spring, a summer, and a winter. However, we have defined it in a different way because we enter into behavioral psychology. So we not only know the colors that the person can wear, we also know the characteristic of this person. So when we look at how do we analyze each individual, so the session starts with general questions. So the questions would be, for example, what's your favorite color, obviously, and why? Now, why do we ask this color? Because the color will tell us a state of mind of the individual. So we change the color we like over a period of time, depending on our mood, our feelings, or sometimes even what we crave. So sometimes if you have a lot of chaos around you, you will automatically notice you crave green because you're craving balance. Sometimes if you are very focused about a project or a certain aspect of your life, you'll naturally be attracted to the color blue. So this is how we vary with this question. The second part of the question is about their lifestyle, like their hobbies, their interests, where they like to travel, even their education. And this information tells you about the characteristic of each personality because we know what are the traits in each color group. And finally, we go into also sort of a transitional question, which is their social skills. So the social skills are not very obvious, but when they answer these questions, we know. So when we ask them about how their personality was as a child, then we ask them, for example, if you have a gathering or a dinner party, how would you like to arrange or have the feeling of your guest feel? So here you can see their social skills through these questions. So this is more, I would say, the personality side of the diagnostic. The second part would be the color analysis. This is where we use the color drapes, which you see everywhere. And here you see the reflection of these colors on your skin tone, which is the reflection of light that we are seeing. So when a person's face looks very evened out, balanced, and bright, which means this is their color palette. But our theory goes even deeper into it because each of these hues of colors have vibrations. So not only when we put the color on the individual that it brightens up their face, it even balances out their physical energy. So you can see like how in-depth this theory is and how in-depth a color analysis is. Now, to understand each of these color personalities, we will be deep diving into each of these personalities. And after our description of each personality and the colors that go under their color group, we are going to show you live examples and testimonials of our clients where you can see this personality live talking, explaining their interests, how they applied these colors in their lifestyle, what changed in their life when they started applying the color theory to their life. So this is a general overview of what a color psychologist does. So we help you discover your personality, understand colors, and understand how to apply it in your daily life. Welcome everyone to our episode today. Today we'll be covering the color analysis and the color personalities. You are going to see all my clients who have experienced color analysis, and you will see live examples of each color personality. So my first guest today is Reina. Welcome, Reina, for coming.
Thank you. Hi, thank you for having me today.
We are very excited to have you and to share your experience with the color analysis you had with me. So tell us a little bit about you.
So my name is Reina Arakji, and I moved from New York to Dubai about 8 or 9 years ago. And I'm a full-time mom.
What was actually your feeling? Describe to us what you thought your style was, or how was your experience about fashion, about your even yourself and your feeling about colors before you did this analysis.
The thing is that before coming to Dubai and before meeting you, I was living in New York. And for me, fashion and color was more about the surroundings. So colors, everybody wore black. And New York itself is a very tough city. So for me, fashion was more like a defense mechanism. So I would wear leather, I would wear boots. For you to be able to face that world, you have to be tough. So that was my sense of style. I mean, I have confidence, but when it comes to color and what I was wearing specifically, it was more of a reaction to my environment rather than what I was as a person.
Amazing. That's so fascinating.
No, I mean, I remember there was a time when a friend of mine told me, why don't you wear high heels? I'm like, high heels? I never wear high heels. And the first time I bought high heels in New York and I wore them, I felt so vulnerable. I wanted to cry because I'm used to wearing boots all the time. Yeah. It's just a different perspective on things. So when I moved to Dubai and I was a mom, and then the move and the change of lifestyle and who am I now and what am I doing, and the clothes that you wear there can't fit here. You can't wear black all the time. This is a hot weather. You can't wear leather. Everything I had was not fitting. No way. And I really didn't know who I was anymore. And that's when I thought of visiting you because one of my friends had recommended you.
Amazing. Yeah. So what was your first impression about a color analysis? What was your idea before you did the color analysis?
I didn't have much of an idea. It was more like, you know what? I need color in my life. And I remember that was the first thing that I told you when I came. I said, Fatima, I mean, I don't know much about this. I wear black all the time. My clothes just, I feel there's this disconnect between what I have and what my current life is. I just need color in my life. And that's how we started. And you're like, okay, I'll give you color. And then we started the session.
Okay. And while we were doing the session, like describe to me what was like while we're the process of the session, what were you feeling at every stage that we were going through?
I really thought the session what would be just, oh, okay, you look good in red, you look good in blue. But it was more personal. It was more about who are you as a person, which I really appreciate, which I think made a lot of difference down the line in the colors that you chose for me. So it wasn't just you look good in blue. It was more about what color really resonates with who you are as a human being. And I believe that is what made the most difference in my life. I mean, of course, I love looking good and wearing the color that looks good on me. But why I love what I did with you and why I recommend your services to everybody and why I brought my entire family is because of the effect that it had on me personally, not just dressing up and looking pretty.
Right. And with the process, like for example, we first started with the general questions, which, as I explained, were like sort of hints of which personality it would be. In the question session, what was the, I would say, aha moments that while I was asking you, you're like, okay, there's things, part of me that I'm discovering right now.
It was more like parts of me that I was remembering. It was more like, because the questions were, what kind of lifestyle do you like to have? Describe to me your ideal house. Describe to me your ideal environment. And then I realized I love the sea. I love nature. I love colors. I love plants. Even my house today is a reflection of that too. But there are certain things that it was more of a remembrance than an aha moment, as in,
so it kind of like brings you back to reconnect with yourself.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Amazing. And then when we went on to do the colors, the color drapes, what was your experience there?
I remember when I still remember the session, I really wanted to wear a yellow gold. I love the color of yellow gold. But then I remember when, out of curiosity, when you're living on your own, they tell you, look at your veins. If your veins are blue, you have to wear white gold or silver. And my veins are blue. And I thought I could never wear white gold. So I was only buying white stuff. White, gold, silver, all of that. So when you told me, no, you actually look much better in gold, I'm like, wow, thank you.
Yeah, so I remember actually we're a combination, right?
Yes.
Do you remember your color personality?
I know, I remember. I can wear both. I'm grateful, but I'm very happy that I have that complete other side that I can embrace again.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. And after you did the session, I would say, like when you received your color report, what was it in the color report that you liked, or it was a new information you never sort of ever guessed that this would be your personality?
When I received my color booklet, I was actually so happy because I love the colors. I'm like, yay! Because I was afraid you were going to give me, I don't know, grays. And so actually, I was very happy with the colors. But one of the surprising colors that you gave me was actually something during draping. So you were putting drapes on my neck and you said, oh, look at this color. This looks beautiful on you. This is one of the best colors for you. And it was... I mean, I don't know the exact term for that shade of blue, but for me, it reminds me of stormy blue kind of weather, like stormy sea weather. And I told you, no, I don't like this color. This is a little bit down, because I wanted more and more and more colors. But in retrospect, now I realize that I love this color. It's very peaceful. It's very relaxing. And if I ever find anything in that shade, I automatically buy it. Of course, size and all of that and material. But I remember that I hated that color when you gave it to me. And now it's one of my favorites because I feel when I wear it, that sense of peace and calm.
Amazing. And yes, in the report, we also have like a guide of exactly when do you use this color. So do you see yourself being very conscious in different situations, like picking the color for the situation, or picking a color where you want to influence the person with the emotion that you want to receive?
I remember in the report you said, for example, if you want to have open communication, wear blue. If you want to be confident, you want to assert yourself, all these kinds. But I am mindful of that. And when I'm in a situation where I feel like I need to communicate, yes, I do remember these. I still have the report.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And since we're talking about fashion, now that you go shopping, what are the things you see the difference before you did the color analysis and after you did the color analysis? Like, how is your approach when you go shopping now?
Okay. So before that, I would go to a store. Oh, I like this, looks good. This looks good. This looks fashionable. And then you just buy and you collect. Now I'm much more discerning. It's like I'm building a high quality wardrobe with the colors that I know look good for me, that make me feel good. And honestly, just having done this color analysis makes my life so much easier, not just shopping, but also dressing and getting ready and all of that. So having these colors is actually a blessing for me. For some people, it might seem like a limitation. Oh, you should not wear, I don't know, olive green, which in my case, probably I should not be wearing. But for me, it's like, yeah, good riddance. At least I know. I don't even have to look at it, you know?
So it's usually, like, as we said, it's the variation of the hue of colors
Yes,
that
exactly.
you have. So everyone can wear all colors, except, of course, the color group that only has black. So that's only one kind of, which is very good. I think you're a subordinate personality.
Exactly.
You had the black and the palette,
Yes.
so you were able to wear it.
Yeah, I'm happy I didn't throw all I have.
I know. Usually that is honestly my scary situation where I have a client who is very attached to their relationship with the color black. And then when we do the analysis and it turns out they don't have black, letting them go of that color is the thing. So interestingly, now that you have this more awareness and knowledge in terms of like what to buy and what to invest in.
Yes.
What was the first thing you did actually when you got your color report and you looked at your closet?
So I remember you told me, don't throw everything, but at least make sure that the stuff that you wear on the top are the ones that match your colors. But I did the opposite. I actually went in, I got rid of everything that wasn't in my color palette, whether that was pants, shoes, makeup, and also handbags. I got rid of everything. And I think that was the best decision I made because my life is so much simpler right now. I don't have to think what matches what. I remember if you told me about, your style before, for example, if I had an event, I would wear something. No, they don't look good together. Something is off. And then I change. Again, oh, doesn't work. Something is off. And then I change. And then again and again. And that's 2-3 hours before going out because putting things together was just not working. Because, I don't know, I had different things, different colors, probably from all kinds of all over the place, different groups. Now, all the colors that I have actually match each other because they all belong to the same family. So the only decision that I have to make is, do I want to look dramatic or do I want to look simple? Do I want to be looking fancy or do I want to look toned down? That's the only decision I have to make. Other than that, I can pick this and this and this and that and I'm out the door. Even if I have an event, I can be ready in 5 minutes. Okay, minus makeup and hair. But I mean, at least choosing what to wear literally is 5 minutes. Before that, it was a couple of hours.
Right. Yeah, I always say I'm in the business of saving money, not spending money.
Yes.
So that's why it is important because also naturally, I'm sure you saw in your closet that a lot of the times there were colors that were already instinctively part of your color group.
Yes.
That you had. So.
Not many, because I had my New York wardrobe, which was mostly black, red, and maybe white. So, and I was really craving the colors. So for me, the first time I wore a shade of purple that you recommended, and I wore it, I'm like, oh my God, I love this color. And then I go out and people say, oh, you look great in that color. And then I ended up buying more and more purple. So no, I was missing a lot of colors. And now I have Technicolor kind of, wardrobe. I have the purples, the yellows, the greens, the blues, yeah.
No, and I see the difference in you from like when you first came to me and now we were talking, it's been 2 years, right? Yes. Since you've come. And I really feel you're in your element now.
I definitely am. There is this sense of And this is, I really want to thank you for that, because people do not realize that when you work with your colors, at least your methods, because I don't know about the other methods, it's not just about looking good. Now that I have mostly, or well, pretty much only the colors that are good for me, I personally feel at ease. I'm not feeling off. I'm not feeling anxious. You know what I mean? Like before, you dress up and you go, and then you feel like something is off. I don't like what I'm wearing. I don't like how I'm feeling. I don't like. Now you just go and you're at ease. And then, of course, there's things happen in life, but at least the base is proper.
Yes.
So for me, that was key.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, even for me, when I applied it personally, it gives me a sense of control over whether it's my emotion or even the situation I'm entering. You know, the vibration of these colors when
Yes,
it's in
exactly.
yeah, you have this feeling of like calmness, even though there's chaos around you.
Yes, it matches you. You don't feel like you're off. You feel like this is me. I'm comfortable. Let me face the world. It's no longer. I mean, I remember, the defense mechanism of wearing your leather and your boots. No, it's like, this is me. This is who I am. I'm happy with who I am. Let me see what the world has to offer.
That's wonderful.
So definitely had a huge effect on my mood. 100%.
Amazing. And I always call you my star client because you sent all your family to me.
I did. I brought in my sister, and then I brought in my husband, and then I kept on begging my brother because he wears black all the time too. And I brought in my cousin, and I keep on recommending you. It's so funny. Sometimes I have people randomly, we're sitting with people for dinner, and he said, "Oh, I'm not happy in my job. I don't know what to do." I tell him, "You know what? I have someone. You should go see her if you're open. You change your wardrobe." People actually think maybe they think this is ridiculous or irrelevant, but honestly, the work is so profound. I mean, really, when somebody is looking for a job, I tell them, go check your colors.
Yes.
And I mean it from my heart, and it's not a silly recommendation because I saw the effect it had on me.
Yeah, exactly. As you said, like our system goes much deeper into, even structuring more the behavioral psychology aspect of a color analysis.
Yes.
So tell me actually, like, what was sort of the behavior or reaction of like your family members who came to me after the session? Did you see like any changes in them, or what were their comments after they did their colors?
So I brought in my husband. He's very hard-headed. I was surprised he actually accepted, number one. Number two, because of his personality, he'd be like disregarding, yeah, okay, I heard, bye, I don't care. But he actually kind of liked it, and he allowed me to go through his closet, and I took him shopping. And now whenever we go shopping, he's like, does this look good on me? Because he doesn't carry the catalog or anything. I mean, and now I know the colors. I don't have to carry them with me. But he's like, can I buy this? And I say yes or no. And he looks different. He looks more fun, more approachable. And everybody says, oh, wow, nobody can pull off these colors except you.
Amazing.
Because they match him. And yeah.
Fantastic. And what about like your sister and your cousin? Did you see the changes after they came to their sessions?
For my sister, she was like, yes, this is how I instinctively dress. And she was happy, but also she started being mindful of her makeup and things like that. Makeup is something that we often don't pay attention to, that how the colors affect us, whether we look healthy, we look sick. And so makeup is also something very key that I've discovered after the session.
What would you say the main reason that you trusted me in selecting me as a color consultant to do this?
You were recommended by somebody that's close to me and that I trust a lot. And I came with an open mind. For me, it was like, I'm going for a session. It's either going to be fun and it's going to be useful, or it's just going to be ridiculous and whatever, I'll forget it. And, I mean, no harm done. But it actually was one of the best decisions of my life. It really had tremendous effect on I wouldn't say how my life turned out to be, more of my attitude towards life.
Describe to me your experience with this in one word.
Okay. I would say enlightening. Because you really, at least for me, I'm more in touch with myself and who I am as a person. And the way I show myself to the world reflects that, I would say. rather than being all over the place, not knowing what you're doing, or being a fashion victim, or being defensive, or wearing something. Before that, I would receive makeup as gifts from family or my mother-in-law. You just wear it, even though the color's totally wrong. And now you know that, no, this is not for me, this is for me. It's just a different attitude or a different approach to how you live.
Okay, amazing. And what would you advise, and who would you advise to come and do a color session?
I came definitely at the right time when I was passing through a transition, and you were laughing. You said, yes, this is the perfect time. And yes, it is the perfect time for somebody who's going through a transition, not knowing where they are, not knowing who they are anymore. Having that session is super, super valuable for them. And of course, for anybody who wants to look good, look healthy. It's just, there's still that beauty, fashion aspect to it, which works 100%. Whenever I wear my colors, people say, wow, stunning color on you. So that works. And there's that other aspect. But if you want to have both, this is the double whammy.
Amazing. And the other aspect, can you describe to us deeper into what is the other aspects that it helps?
You mean the psychological aspect? It's that feeling at ease with yourself. I did not realize that colors could stir these emotions in you, the colors that you wear specifically, and that would affect you and your mood and the way you deal with people. So for example, for me, I don't wear that anymore, but if I'm wearing a very earthy color, very, like mustard or something, I feel like blah, I'm very happy wearing all these colorful,
brighter colors.
Yes,
yeah.
All that kind
because
of
the mustard would be more of a heavier vibration for your color.
Very heavy. It brings me down. So for me, whenever I'm wearing my colors, which is all the time pretty much, it's just that, you're just, for me, happy-go-lucky and come what may, and life is good. Then you deal with it as it comes.
Right. Amazing.
Alhamdulillah for everything.
Thank you so much for coming, and I'm so happy to listen to this feedback.
No.
And it's amazing that, as we said, it's been 2 years, and this is something that you're continuously, experiencing and gaining knowledge from.
Yes. No, this is part of my life for good. This is it. How much time I save and how I feel, and inside and outside, how I look. It's a lot of things that came with that one session that I had with you. So what I gained is really invaluable. And that's why I wholeheartedly recommend to anybody who would listen.
Amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Hello, Remie. Thank you for coming on our show. We're very, very excited to have you, and we're very excited for you to show us your color personality today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. And I'm super excited for me to tell you after this time how far I have come with this.
Amazing. Today we're going to learn everything about you. So first, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. I'm Remie Salloum. I'm a mom of 2 boys, and now I'm expecting the third on the way. I work mainly as a content creator on social media, and it has to do with family care, self-care, lifestyle, all that. So before that, I was working full-time in the media industry. I worked around 6 years. And before that, I'm taking you backwards because from my current to the previous, I got my bachelor degree in advertising. So, they all led to where I am today.
Right. So we have actually the same experience. And what's interesting is that you and I also have the same color personality. Remember when we did the session? Yeah. So every time you were answering, I'm like, oh my God, we have so much in common.
Yeah, I can feel even the vibes and the calm. It's taking over the...
Yes, and also our field of work, because we're both in marketing and advertising. Yeah, so it's very interesting. So what would you describe your personal style or the idea you had about colors before you did the color analysis?
So first, when I was in university, I took a class in psychology, and I was interested to see the effect of colors it has on our psychology, but I never thought of it as in terms of clothing. It was always in terms of something, and you see a wall or things you have at home. I never thought that if I wear it, or it's something that has to do with me, how it would change, my personality or my feeling and all that. So for me, when I was looking at style, it was more like, okay, I can wear whatever. If I can wear it, it doesn't matter what color or what texture or what pattern it has on it, as long as I feel good in it. I never thought that the color could actually really influence, even the pattern that I'm wearing could really reflect my personality. So I always thought it was something that was outside, not something that was, interior or inside of me that would change.
Amazing. And what made you decide to come and do a color analysis? And why did you choose me specifically?
So what made me decide is, on social media, it became trending, this color palette changing thing. And I was like, wow, I did not expect it to really change the features of people, the shadows on their face and everything. So I wanted to, because I believed strongly in the color psychology, I thought that, wow, it's amazing for me to see how it would reflect how I look and all that. And I decided that I want to research and see, the first thing you research on Google, the best color, consultants, fashion, stuff like that, how you put it on Google. And you popped up, and I did some research and I went through your profile, and I thought you were perfect. And when I went to you, I was sure that you were the perfect person for me to do this session with.
Amazing. So when you started with the session, we will walk through like the steps of the session that we did. So what was your first idea when you came in? Like, what did you expect the color session steps would be?
So I expected it to be exactly like how I saw it on social media. Just sit there and let's do the colors. That's it. Yeah. I did not expect it to be very detailed, asking questions about, my life, my personality, what I like, what I didn't like. And this whole part of the session actually was very interesting, because with your questions, I was reflecting on myself as well. And then you say, okay, it's interesting to see that it has so much to do with your personality, and little does it have to do with the way it makes your, face or how you look. This is such a small part of it, versus when you look back, that the colors that you wear and the styles that you wear and all that, how it's like a reflection of who you are. Then with the colors, it enhances that reflection. So it was very interesting to see the deep dive you did on my personality, on my lifestyle, on my, past, to eventually show me the right colors and patterns for me.
Right. And you see, the reasons why we ask these questions, as we said, is your answers put you in a particular category of one of the personalities.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's so much more to the color palette. Mm-hmm. And when we were doing the color drapes, was there a moment where, for example, you were shocked that there was a particular color that suit you?
Yes, actually, the red that is slightly to Bordeaux, not the flashy red, because prior to the session, my husband had complimented me, and he was like, this color is very good on you, not the red flashy, this one. So when we did the color drape session, and you told me this is your color, I was like, now it explains why he thought it really looked good on me. And what shocked me was that the color black didn't look good on me, and the majority of my closet was black. So I'm like, okay, So it was such a nice experience to see that, or to confirm that the colors that people compliment you on are actually your colors, and you were able to give me this confirmation because you made me see it, firsthand.
Yes, and this is the reason why I always test out the different color drapes, is because I train you to know exactly what is your right color. So I always say, like, even if you don't have your color kit and you're going shopping, you take, for example, a t-shirt of a particular color. The minute you see that you have like dark rings or it's uneven skin, you know it's not your color, you know?
That's right,
And whatever thing you put on that brightens your face and you feel energetic. Because remember, I noticed also, like, sometimes when I would put the darker colors on you that wasn't your palette, your body language changed. You like instantly tensed up. You know?
It didn't make me feel good. I remember feeling like, why am I even choosing this color? It doesn't make me feel good, because other colors are making me feel better. So when you put it in this comparison, you know that, okay, the reason why you are feeling down today is because you've been wearing black for the past, few days or few hours or whatever. It's because really the colors, they affect how you feel. And you see, when I started noticing this after our session, I immediately changed my clothes. This is not working for me. This is not vibing with my feelings,
That's fantastic, because that leads to our next question, that after you got your color kit and report, when you sort of looked at your wardrobe, what were the steps you took to like apply this?
So first of all, I started avoiding black altogether. Even if I'm going to drop my kids to school, I just avoid it. And I started prioritizing the colors that make me feel good. And it gave me like, okay, now today, I want extra energy. So I go for this certain color. Today I'm feeling a bit more, bougie style, whatever. So I go for this. I avoid all the other colors that don't look good on me, regardless. They're still in my closet, probably. I don't know why, you're attached to clothes that are there for some reason, but I'm completely avoiding them. And when I do my closet clean out, I remove the colors that don't look good on me anymore. So the process kind of like, I have blacks for emergency, but most of my blacks I threw out, I'm replacing them with brighter colors, with colors that's not just brighter, my color palette that you shared. And I remember once I had a wedding and I was choosing between the Bordeaux color and the black color dress. Usually I would have, picked the black one, but after our session, I'm like, no, I'm going for the Bordeaux color. And it made me feel, much better about myself. And even the people were like, oh, you look bright,
Yes.
So it was such a nice, insightful session that we had that really changed a lot when I went back home.
That's fantastic. And this is exactly like you made a very good point. And when you wear a color for like several days consistently, it starts taking a negative effect on you.
Yeah.
So a part of your report, of course, was the guide of how much of each color like you use. And with black, honestly, everybody has a very attached relationship with the color black. Everybody does that. Even me at a certain time when I didn't understand this, if I look at my college pictures, I'm always like in black dresses or a black blazer or something like that. And what was nice from what you said is that you were able to control your emotion in different situations.
Yeah.
When you were saying, today I want to feel energetic, today I want to be more, So this is what I like about this, that we have control over our lives and our emotions, which is very comforting.
Yeah. Definitely the control, you regain control over how you feel.
Yes. And also like the previous guest, she said the same thing, that when she was doing the questions, it's very enlightening. You get to know yourself again. After you tackled your wardrobe, and as I said, you don't have to get rid of like everything, as long as it's like, for example, tops that are not in your palette, because it reflects on your skin. So the bottoms you can wear. So for example, me and you don't have black in our palette, but I do wear black pants or skirts and so forth, because it's not reflecting.
Yeah.
So
it's
that. Okay, It's sort of like not so strict also.
Yeah. You can play around with it.
And play around with it.
Yeah. But I remember when we had, I still wear black pants, but tops I'm just avoiding. Because, when you are feeling down, and then you say, I'm feeling down today, I'm gonna wear black because I feel down, you end up feeling more down. Yani it's such a cycle that you're going downhill, so it's so important to have control over your emotions, and you have the option to have control over your emotions, because you have the flexibility to choose your colors, right? And choose your colors in a way that make you feel really good about yourself, so you can at least improve this mood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And after that, for example, now you are in social media, and it's all about the message that you give to people, and it's about how you look and what you wear. So do you feel you started applying a little bit of this color sort of palettes in your videos?
Yes, definitely. So in my previous videos, you'd see me wearing a lot of blacks, but now you see I have, I try to control the colors that I select, especially for the videos. And I noticed that people, they're like, oh, you look nice today, or I love this color on you. They start complimenting me more because of the colors that I'm wearing. And it does, when you put it and you put the light on your face, you see the shadows coming on your face. So definitely I'm more in control of how people react to my videos based on the colors that I choose to wear in those videos. You see me wearing less blacks, or probably not at all, but a lot more colors in my top selection. Is something very basic. Probably even my jewelry. Remember, we talked about also the jewelry. That gold, it works for my palette. So I'm using more golds now. Makeup on my face, the detailed report that you shared had everything, the patterns, it's amazing how you can control other people's reactions, not just your own feelings, based on what you decide to wear.
And you said patterns. I remember before you were a bit more reserved when it came to patterns. So do you feel like now you're more comfortable in wearing patterns? Yes, I can see. Fantastic.
I'm so much more comfortable because I used to stick to plains. Now I have the courage to wear patterns and to just enjoy what I'm wearing without trying to make a statement. I'm not trying to tell people, hey, look at me, I'm here. No, you're wearing patterns
but you're comfortable.
But you're comfortable, exactly, and you're happy, and you get compliments, and people, they don't know why. What changed in you? Something changed in you. You look much prettier, you look much brighter. You're like, nothing changed. I just, my clothes, and my selection of colors, my selection of patterns. Even like we talked about hair color, because for a very long time, I believed that black was my hair color, because originally when I was a kid, it was dark brown black. I mean, you can see with I can't dye my hair now because I'm pregnant, but when you dye it, the dyes are different than your natural colors.
Right.
But I always thought that black was my color until I noticed how dull I look. And I noticed that in my videos. Dark hair is very harsh on my skin tone and on my personality even. I'm not a very bold, personality. I'm more like, happy, lighthearted, bubbly personality. I wanted something to reflect that. So I believe when I went to your session, I did have dark hair.
Yes.
And then after that, I'm like, no, I have to change. I have to, feel good about myself. Maybe it's the hair color that's not making me feel good. So I went to a hairstylist. I changed my hair color, and it's really amazing to see how simple things, small decisions in colors really affect your whole
your whole life,
whole experience in life.
And do you feel like people have noticed a change in your personality after you've done the color analysis?
I think people are closer to me now than before. I think it's not just them accepting my color, palette. It's, I feel better about myself. I feel better about socializing with people, more confident.
Nice.
It reflects on my face. I'm happier. So naturally, you attract more people when you are like that. So definitely you will have them closer, you'll have them happier around you. it changes a lot.
Yeah, that's true, because it always comes down to when you're comfortable with yourself, then the person in front of you will reflect that energy that you're giving. And interestingly, you were saying you're more social now because the black is a color that basically gives you authority and style, but at the same time, it blocks communication. So that's why, like, when you wear black, like, people will look at you in a serious way, but they will never talk to you.
That's right.
So-
It's such an interesting thing to say, because we didn't discuss this before, but now you're saying it. I can notice when I'm looking at somebody wearing black, it's always like, okay, you are serious. Especially men in suits. I think men, they need to change the color.
Yeah, that's true. Like even I know, even in like I work in the fashion industry, so the luxury brand, it's all about the sophisticated, black looks, or the black dress, or I mean, Coco Chanel influenced us.
Yes,
We talked about color symbolism, so it's like kind of programmed in our brain. But this is it. But the problem is, it's very cold. It doesn't give you a sense of warmth, and especially when like our personality does not have that color palette in it. First of all, we feel drained, we feel tired, because the vibration is super high. It's not in our vibration. And at the same time, we're very warm personalities, like you are very friendly or very warm.
Thank you. You too,
So those like, it doesn't do you justice, basically, the wearing the color black. Yeah,
you're right.
So-
You want people to be friendly with you, and you want to be friendly with people, but you're wearing black, and black says stop. So you're like, why don't I have this warmth from other people? Because you are not reflecting it.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's such an interesting thing. I think people, they don't talk about it enough.
Yes.
I think they take it for granted. I'll just wear anything, and I'm just going, there. I'm just going here. They don't understand really how much color influences what you're feeling. And now I can say it more confidently as a pregnant woman who has a lot of emotions. And I'm staying away from black, like really far away from black, because the minute I wear it, I just have this shift in my feelings. So I go for brighter colors, happier colors within my palette. And I really feel good about my pregnancy because of the colors that I'm choosing. And then people were like, no, how is she happy with her pregnancy? How I feel down because my hormones are all over the place and all that. It's because I'm really controlling how I'm feeling with the colors that I'm wearing, with the patterns that I'm wearing, with the styles, even makeup. I put on some makeup even if I feel down, because you need this color push in your life.
Yes. And is there like a particular color you're attracted to while you're pregnant?
Yellows, I think.
Okay.
and pinks. Even though I just announced I'm having a boy, but it's just the pinks, they make me happy, and the yellows, and probably the summery colors. They're happy colors in general. Yeah.
So interesting why I asked, because you see, it's a reflection of our emotions at the time. So the pink is very much about emotional healing. So that's why you see like the feminine emotional healing, being in touch and connected with your child. And then the yellow, as you said, you want to be happy. So that's why you're attracted to the color that makes you happy.
Amazing.
Yeah. So it's very interesting.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Fantastic. And when reflecting overall with your whole experience, would you recommend it to someone? And who and why would you recommend to a person to come do a color analysis?
I'm on social media, and I would recommend it to everybody. And you've seen the video probably when I talked about how I visited you and how we chose the colors and all that. But I would definitely recommend it to everyone, because I see it firsthand, how it really affects the person, how I feel, how I look, how other people react to me. So, of course, especially those who are not aware of the colors and the color influences on our personality and on our feelings, I would recommend this to them strongly. If you're not feeling good, and if you haven't feeling good for a very long time, you have to check your colors. Maybe you're vibrating differently with the colors that you're wearing.
Right.
So I would definitely recommend it to everybody, even to men, because I see it more with women. I think men, they need to do those sessions as well, because I think they are missing some happiness in their life.
Yes.
They wear a lot of blacks, a lot of whites. They don't wear a lot of colors. So I would definitely recommend everyone to give it a try, to see how they feel after.
Yeah, it's very interesting because a lot of people think it's only for women, and actually it's for like men, women, even children.
Kids,
Yeah, even kids. Like I had a couple of my friends who brought their kids who were like 12 or 13. Even actually the youngest I've had is an 8-year-old.
Really?
Yeah, and she was wonderful. She had a lot of curious questions about the colors, and she was feeling it, and it's interesting. And I feel it also helps with the relationship of a family. So I had even a case where a husband and wife came. And they were like very different personalities, and even when I was doing the color analysis, like one would be like, oh, I don't like this color on yours. But after they did the color, they understood, they even understood the personalities of each of these color personalities. And as we said, there's a main and a subordinate. So they had like a common subordinate personality. Then they focused on what was the common thing between them. So a few months after that, when I met them, they're like, you actually saved our marriage.
Yeah, sometimes it's as simple as that. Yeah. No, at least you gave them a common ground to stick to. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because I see it even with my kids, like when I ask them to pick colors to get dressed, they always go for the happy colors. When the time you see them in black, or it's probably their dad who gave them the shirts to wear, or me when I was in a hurry. But most of the time when they select their outfits and when they go shopping, they always go for the bright, happy colors, and they look good in it, I would say, they would look the same. No, they wouldn't. Even they would be more playful, happier. And you notice that color psychology is such a huge thing that we take for granted. And I think everybody should be aware of the influences it has on us.
Yeah, and it's actually very helpful, as you said, with kids. The colors they choose, you actually know what mood they are in the day, So it's good. So, for example, if they're upset and they choose a certain color, but they're not telling you they're upset, you kind of can figure out there's something, wrong.
Yeah, that's right. So now I'm thinking back.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's and also like we for our kids, you're saying for kids, we see them with the coloring on paper. We never consider them wearing the color to reflect who they are. And I think everybody has to do the color sessions. Yeah. And everybody has to do it with you, because you're such a calm person.
Thank
and
you.
You're so inviting. And when you were asking about personal questions, I was so comfortable sharing more details. Even if you had asked about my traumas, I would have shared, So it's so important to be with somebody that you feel safe to talk to, that you feel like you trust. And I didn't even question one thing, because I told you I was into color psychology, but you seem very knowledgeable and very into what you're doing, and the most importantly, you look like you love what you're doing, because it shines from your face.
Thank you.
So yeah, for me, doing it with the right people is so important. It's as important as doing the session itself.
Yes, I agree with you. That's why for me, I'm very strict with my ethics. And as you said, like these sessions are very personal and it's completely confidential. Like as I said, even when I have couples, they're not allowed to know about each other's sessions. Like, this is your own personal private time, to discover yourself. So I honestly, this is wonderful, and thank you so much for your kind words. So our last question, describe to me your experience in one word.
Character supporting, personality amending. I would say life changing is such a broad thing to say,
right?
But definitely it changed my life in a lot of ways. But it also helped me reflect who I am much better. So you help bring out the best in me in terms of how I present myself.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, Aveen, to the Chromatic Connection. We're very excited to have you today and learn all about your color personality.
Thank you so much, Fatma, for having me. Honestly, like going through that journey with you and having now, to dig deep into it is just cherry on top.
Oh, fantastic. That's what we like to hear. So tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. Well, I'm a person who love bold things, and I would say in maybe many of aspects in life. In my professional life and personal life. And challenge, it's like, the fuel to feed me. So I'm Aveen. I'm mom of 3, and I'm a working mom in a field of marketing. And at the same time, a person who loves adventures and challenge and anything new to discover. That's why maybe one of the things led me to go through the journey of color analysis, like, oh yeah, something new, let's try it on.
Fantastic. That's what we like to hear. So tell me what were your thoughts before you came to do a color analysis? مثلا, what did you think of? What would you describe your style or how you would shop before you ever did this experience?
Well, fashion has been always my passion. So I love to go with like bold and seamless pieces. Whenever I shop, I look at what's the trend, but I always try to find something within the trend, but out of the box. So not something that's been seen all around. Colors, I love my brown, blue, white, the earth colors. I always play it a bit safe around here, just to know what used to work for me. But with the style, I might be a bit more brave, to be honest. However, I always look at things for what worked safe and usually what I got compliments about. And, repeating on the same circle, I would say.
Okay. So great. So what made you want to come and do a color analysis, and why did you choose me?
Oh, that's a great. Well, how I came to you, it was through my sister. 100%. She was like, Aveen, there is. We heard about color analysis, to be honest. Not that much, maybe, in our region, which I feel very sad about, to be honest, because it's a fantastic journey. I know it has a big market in the Far East, and due to a travel that we're a lot there, so I was like, why we don't have it? One time I had a chat to her about it, and she came to me like, this is just for you. There is a color analysis, and who does it? It's my friend. I search about it. I'm like, oh, wow, she's amazing. So to be honest, what got me here, it's you, Fatma.
Thank you.
Because I heard from one of the friends, the journey itself, it's more about mixing science, power, fashion, all together to come with a great, solid, analysis that it feeds me and feeds my need with too many different aspects.
Right.
So what brought me that was you.
Oh,
and my
fantastic.
sister.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Salah, for the recommendation. So now that we understand what was your process of what drove you and attracted you to the color analysis, let's talk about the journey that we went through together during the color analysis. So let's start with, what was your expectation at the beginning, and then what was the aha moments and the things you discovered while we did the session?
Okay. My expectation, it was more about discovering new colors that might been missed out from where I was always looking for. And that was part of it. But the journey itself, it was totally different. Too many, I would say, pillars that covered a full journey, from focusing on who I am, what I like, how is my life, my personality, where can I see beauty, what brings me down, what it pushed me up, and that ups and downs, it all came in one. To be honestly, the core of it is color, one of them. So when I came, through the journey with you, like putting some colors on me, like, it drained me down. The other one, it pushed me up. So having that ups and downs, it's really like, translated the daily journey when we go through in the morning, when you pick your gym suit to go with the dull dark, honestly, it reflects you.
Yes.
And and this is something like from February to now, the black legging is not there anymore.
I'm happy to hear that.
It reflects a different side. So I would say the journey, as I mentioned, it's more about, yes, fashion, science, and it talks more about who you are. So I loved the whole result. I could apply it even like in my professional life, I would say.
Amazing. And was there like a particular color when we were doing the draping that like you were kind of shocked that this suit you?
To be honest, the result, it was a bit surprising for me. Like coral and peach, they were never something that passed in my mind before. And when you put it on, I was like, oh, wow. And I had a couple of pieces after that. And funny enough, like people, when they get the compliment, they used to tell me like, you look good today. But when I get into, I'm like, what a color. I'm like, yeah, Fatima.
You're like, yes.
Yes. Yes. Like it was an eye opener for me.
Yes, amazing.
So,
that's fantastic.
yeah, thank you.
Welcome. And after you did the session, so I'm sure you and your sister might have had a deep discussion after you did the session.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So what were the things that you were kind of surprised to discover about each other during the session and the color session?
We've been always so different.
Yes.
But I wouldn't expect to be that much different in things. I wouldn't think like color translates your personality that much. When we digged more deep with what we went through, like even the shade of, this reflection of metallic between gold and silver and the precious stone that you talk about, things that my sister, she thought like, this is what she loves and it suits her, while I thought totally different things. And later on, when we start to really like, you narrow down our thoughts, how we find things that really reflect us.
Yes.
We found out, well, let's give a room for us to try new things. If like, going through colors, it change how the perspective or the first look would be.
Yes.
Definitely that there are things in life we can try new and brings a different...
Yeah, so you weren't as different as possible. Like you had a common ground of you like both to try new things together.
Exactly, 100%. So it was a nice journey. And when we talk about it, because both of us, our perspective, it was about, let's find the new things maybe we can add into our wardrobe.
Yes.
It was way more than that.
Yes, and recently, actually, she sent me a picture. She was at a wedding and she had worn this beautiful purple. She was stunning.
Well, it was 100%. It's the first time we had a wedding. Well, that wedding. And if you see like the WhatsApp chat between us, we usually go with like, the settled colors. So we look very elegant and niche. And this time, like she sent me the purple, I share the red, she get me the coral, I share the fuchsia. And all the colors were very standing out, to be honest.
Yes, I was going to come to the color you wore for the wedding. So basically you stood out, both of you and sisters. Fantastic. I love to hear these stories.
It was transformational.
Very transformational. And what do you feel like once you got your color kit and you went home, how did you approach your wardrobe?
Okay. I edited my wardrobe. To be honest, like when I'm going shopping nowadays, I go find, still I love my bold pieces and this boutique seamless parts. But I would say like to myself, does the color work or not? If not the right color, I skip it. If the same color, I have it repetitively in my wardrobe, I won't go for it anymore. I let some believed lovely black dress go out.
Sorry.
Yeah. But there are new pieces who refresh the wardrobe and like boost the life into it.
And do you feel like what do you feel changed in your personality now that you've like started to adapt to these colors?
I would say I should ask that question to you. You've seen me now about 8 months. How would you see me?
See, you have a lovely personality. You're so warm, you're so friendly. But I remember you seemed a bit like you showed that you're very bold, but deep inside you were a bit shy. But now I feel you're more comfortable in your own skin.
To be honest, you just translated. You know, when I got the reports from you, you know, when there are things in your head deep inside, you know it, but you want to hear it.
Yes.
So I heard what I wanted to hear. Like you just validate points that it was there, but it wasn't clear. So that's why I'm telling you, the color analysis, it wasn't just a fashion step. Having that science of reading, like, you know, how you dig deep into my needs, my thoughts, narrowing down all that thoughts in one solid plan, it was amazing. So yes, I'm more bold with my thoughts now. I can see myself in a different mood and look and feel. I like it.
Amazing. That's fantastic. And I remember like the last thing I told you before you left, I told you I'm like your color personality, a lot of celebrities are the combination. So I told you you need to be a celebrity. So now I've given you your first step.
Thank you so much. Well, that's why I wasn't hesitant. Maybe if you came to me like a few months ago, before I went through that journey, I would tell you like, Fatma, I don't think I can do it. It's not my thing. But when you came to me with the like, let's have that podcast, I'm like, well, I start wearing peach. Let me try have the podcast.
Exactly.
Now.
Yeah, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're so comfortable. You're made for that.
Thank you. Well, you always push us to challenging ourselves, Fatma.
Challenge yourself, exactly. I mean, I challenged myself. I used to be so shy, and there was no way I would do any public speaking or even be on social media. And when I started applying this color system to myself, naturally, because I was taking the right vibration, slowly, I opened up my personality.
Yeah.
And because I had control over the situation. So, like, for example, if I had to do a public speaking, I would wear my blue. And naturally, I was confident with myself. I knew people would trust me. So I kind of had like, it takes away anxiety, actually, because you know you can control the situation.
100%.
So yeah, that's fantastic.
Amazing.
And you said you were in marketing, which so am I. Here, all the guests I'm bringing are all on my feet. So how do you feel like this color analysis reflected in your work?
Okay. I might be like in a different marketing field as a corporate. So more my industry tied to strategy and numbers and plans. However, we always like, in marketing, you have a plan and you have a vision and there is a mission to make it happen.
Yes.
But we miss a big part, which called brand love.
Yes.
There is a brand, but there is no brand love. So having to tie these two together, you need to have the right tool to make it there. So what makes the right tool? It's like using what your customer love. So you need to be in their position. If you are targeting kind of an audience, let's say, young people, you have to go with that shade of colors that attracts them.
Yes, absolutely.
If you are targeting kind of that elder generation, again, you have to go with the color scheme that attracts them, going with more subtle things that they can see. So building that link as a brand love, it comes mainly as a first step, which color you are talking to them. It's a language.
Yes. Amazing. Very well put.
Yeah.
And also these color personalities are basically your customer profiles.
100%.
So as you were saying, it is like the psychology of thinking like your customer, connecting with your customer. So it's through the colors, through the language you speak to them. So it goes much deeper into marketing for sure, and product loyalty.
Sure.
Yeah,
like
sure.
Too many times when we see too many like signboards, logos, there is a color who linked to these logos. Like it tells you who you are targeting from these colors. Not everyone maybe knows about that.
Yes.
But nowadays it's marketing's more than a logo, and it's like, that language that you are talking to your customer, how you gonna pass that ads, if we would say, like a story, the video, what you are adding to, what's your background, what you are wearing, what you are using.
Yes.
But first thing, it's like your color you are using.
Yes.
What's gonna catch your eye?
Yeah, and now you notice with marketing also, they're selling more a lifestyle than product.
100%.
So it could be like a simple juice, but they're not going to show you just the juice and the information. It's more a lifestyle, how it's incorporated into an individual's like personality, as we said.
Sure.
So fantastic. I love to hear that. So where would you, what was your major aha moment when you did the color analysis?
I would say after I received the report, to be honest, I was scared first, let me say. I was scared like I'm going to lose my brown and blue in that shade. But thanks God the brown was there still. But when I found out like new colors as a main pillars in that report, like the coral wasn't something there for me before. And like... you had the starlight and the starlight and the morning light. When you dig deep into these two shades, I wouldn't think like when they marry together, they give me that power to reflect it in a way that I can really get out of my shell with it. Like literally talk to me very well from being like bold and dramatic at the same time. So if I put it in a nutshell, the coral, it was like, aha, oh my God, sapphire stone, how come? Things like never it was in my list before.
Yes.
And to be honest, when I got them, it made the whole difference.
And did you like the process of how the different sections of the report and what it shared? Like, what were the things you liked in the report and how it was formatted?
It covered more than one angle, like covering the angle of from side of jewelry, from side of personality, from side of my day-to-day life things, going to the level of how you reflect or present yourself in a social event, in a formal event, very much, broke down into a details, but not in a boring way. Like it's a very easy for me to observe and reflect that. Until now, I can remember what is my colors. I don't need to always go to the list itself.
Right.
So I would say like the way you broke down the report, it's very easy and in a smart way, like it's very catchy. It made me like easily remember and recall every single things into it. And it helped me, to be honest, more than, again, I would repeat that part, to focus on a fashion rather than, the feeling about this color in my day-to-day life.
Yeah, so it brought more character to your personal stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. How would you describe your experience in one word?
Transformational.
I like that. Very nice.
Yeah.
And would you recommend the service to someone? And tell me to who and why would you recommend it?
100% I would recommend it. And to who, well, always family comes around me. I would definitely recommend it for the people around me. But I would recommend this analysis to be part of even big organizations when they want to go like through that transformation part. It doesn't mean like in corporate or lifetime or like even when you build like a small business. This is a step of knowing how you put things together, that it suits your mindset and reflects you. It's gonna bring that creativity out of you. So I would 100% recommend like, yes, go to the marketing company to build like a full branding, but are these colors yours? Because if it doesn't reflect you, you can't build that
Exactly.
love with your kit. You would see it like it's a beautiful, but it doesn't reflect you. So a step ahead, take that color analysis. It's like something would show you who you are, where you are, what you love, so you can add your own bit in your journey.
Yes, very true. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I really enjoyed my time with you, and I'm so happy to
Likewise.
see you. And
Thanks
thank
for
you for
having
all your
me.
kind words.
Thank you so much, Fatima. It was a pleasure, to be honest.
Hi, Leonora. We are very excited to have you on the Chromatic Connection today.
Thank you, Fatima. Thank you for having me.
So we're super excited to know all about your journey once you did your color analysis, how you've applied it. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I actually moved to Dubai 2 years ago, and I've got my own business. I've got a marketing agency, and I only work with food and drink brands. So it's a very creative role. And I'm originally from Portugal, although I lived a long time in Scotland as well. And I've only got married 2 months ago as well. Yeah.
Congratulations! That's so
And you met my
exciting.
husband as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, to be honest with you, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, to be honest.
Fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that. And we wanted to know today, what was your sort of thoughts about what is color before you came for the analysis? Also, like what you considered in terms of like what you defined your style or what you would look for when you would shop before and then after you did your color analysis.
I think it's really interesting because I think before I would really gravitate towards, I'm not sure why. I think I would gravitate towards bright colors, but at the same time, I would always think that dark colors suit me. And I'm not entirely sure why, because after doing the color analysis with you, they just do not do anything for me.
Yes.
But I remember when I was in Zara once and there was 2 outfits and one of them was black and one of them was this sort of beautiful sort of aqua blue. And I remember trying them both on and really loving the aqua blue, but for some reason I went for the black. And I'm not sure if that's almost like a confidence thing, or I'm not entirely sure why I did that, but it really sticks in my mind, especially after doing the color analysis with you, because actually based on my colorings, the aqua blue is really what I should have gone for. And now I really know that, and it's really interesting that my whole mindset has shifted, especially with my job as well, because I'm very client facing in terms of I do a lot of meetings, and I speak to people who are obviously very high up in their own companies, that being founders, marketing directors, etc., etc. I found now that me going in clothes that make me feel really comfortable in terms of how it brings out my face, for instance. And, I've got a lot of facial expressions and I move my hands a lot, and I actually think it makes me feel more engaging and makes the person speaking to me feel more engaged as well. Right. Because I think when I wear a darker color, say like a black, I feel like my face disappears. It's really interesting. And I remember during our session when you held up the color to my face, I was traumatized because I just thought, where is my face gone?
Right.
Because it just disappears. And I think so many people go through that without even realizing it.
Right. And what made you choose to come for a color analysis, and why did you choose me to come to do it?
So my husband his aunt has done color analysis before in a group setting with friends. And she would always say, every time I wore something, she'd be like, oh, Leo, like that really suits you. You know, and it was always colors like, you know, the colors that suit me. Now, after you sort of helped me with that, you know, very much like pastels and bright colors. And she'd always say, oh, that's such a lovely color on you. And every time I wore a darker colour, I realised that I wouldn't get those compliments as much. And then I asked her once and she said, oh no, do you know, it's quite interesting because we did this colour analysis. And the lady who did it, she could just tell that my colours were not, based on, you know, her other friends who maybe had the same colourings or complexion or personalities, would have the same sort of colours that would suit them as maybe they would suit me as well. So yeah, she then said, oh, you should get it done. And I thought, yeah, it's just one of those things, you know, you never really get around to doing it. And then my husband was actually recommended you through someone at work. And he decided to look you up online. And then he thought, oh, I'm just going to take the plunge and we're just going to go for it. And we did a couple session.
Yes.
And it was really good. We were complete opposites.
Yes.
And he's redhead
Yeah.
and his colours. And he's quite anxious about like wearing red or orange because, you know, people with red hair are quite self-conscious about that in case it sort of really clashes.
Yes.
Not in the best way. And now he's sort of really confident wearing those colours.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love to hear that.
Yeah. It's made such a difference. Such a difference.
Fantastic. And walk us through like when we were going through the session together, whether your session or your husband's session, you were there together. Let's go with the stages. So first, when I started asking the questions, were you surprised that this was the process of, you know, asking the questions before we did the color drapes?
Yeah, to be honest, this is going to sound quite naive, but I thought when we first went into the consultation with you, I thought you were just going to say, oh, based on looking at you, first impression, this is what you'll suit. You know, I really didn't think you'd go as in depth as you did. And I was really quite surprised at the questions you were asking because they were really quite deep, some of them. And maybe things that I hadn't necessarily thought about myself personally, or hadn't maybe even acknowledged that in a long time. And then when we started diving into those questions, it almost made me understand the colour palette more, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And I think my brain in itself is very creative. You know, I'm a very hands-on sort of person. I'm very visual. And it's almost, do you know, it's really strange. It's almost as if the colour palette matches how my brain thinks.
Yes.
And that is not something I expected at all, because I seriously thought it was just physical. I thought it was based on, okay, if you've got blonde hair, this is what's going to look nice, etc., etc. And now it's, you know, I feel so much happier in the clothes I wear. Like I genuinely wear no dark colours anymore.
Fantastic.
Unless it's like bottle green or navy. But very rare. You know, and it's just really, it's really enlightening. Really is. In so many ways.
That's what I love to hear. And you see, the reason that's exactly, you described it beautifully, because the general idea that we have of a color analysis is only the reflection of the color on your skin.
Yeah.
You know, or they have a category, for example, like the seasons that you have. So they'll be like, okay, in autumn looks like this, but it's much deeper because we have two sides of our personality. We have the main, which is, yes, how we look, our region, and is mostly the colors we're attracted to unconsciously anyway. But then we also have ancestors, which is a little percent, which this color analysis actually brings out.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, you know, a small part of you where it comes from. And interestingly, with that, I have a personal story with my best friend.
Oh, wow.
So my best friend from uni, I mean, we've been known each other since we were 18 years old. And when I studied this and I did the color analysis for her, I suddenly saw a morning light personality in her. And I found it very strange because she comes from the same region. So her main colors would be a firelight. And I told her, do you have some European descent? And she was like, yes, we actually have German descent. And that is where her morning light personality came out.
Whoa.
So it's very fascinating. And then sometimes some people tell me, oh, I feel I have two personalities. And I'm like, that's absolutely normal, because you take what you need at the stage in your life as characteristics. So for example, like if my field of work has to do a lot with, interacting with people, social work. So I switch into my Firelight a lot in that, which is a character, as you said, a personality. And then if I'm more into when I'm working with luxury brands and so forth, or even socially sometimes, because I'm very shy socially, I switch into my Dreamlight with my pastel colors.
Yeah.
So, you and even stages in life of where you are. So that's great.
It's really interesting you say that as well, because I feel, so my primary colors are morning light, and I feel obviously those are stronger, more vivacious. And when I, for instance, have something to do work-wise, or something that I need to feel quite confident and powerful and sort of, in command, let's just put it that way,
Yes.
I find myself gravitating towards those colors because I feel those colors make me feel powerful. Whereas I then gravitate towards your more sort of dreamlike colors, which more your pastels. Like, for instance, today, because it's more relaxed, it's more of a casual setting.
Right.
Or with friends and family, like even down to my nails, it's just, I feel like it's really interesting how that dynamic has now worked for me. So much so, I feel like my entire wardrobe has been completely shifted as well.
Right.
I've sort of gotten rid of all the things that don't really, suit me anymore. And especially, there was something that you did mention in consultation, Fatima, that's really stuck with me a lot, which is when people wear a color that doesn't necessarily, it's not even suit them, it's just a color that's not maybe for them, and it touches your skin. You do. I did it after the consultation with you.
Yes.
And I put on black. That was the last time I ever wore it. I put it on and I took it off straight away because I woke up in a great mood. I was really full of energy. I put it on and I felt in a foul mood for no reason. There was no reason for it. And I know, anyone who's probably thinking of doing this probably thinks there's no way, like surely that's too deep. But I promise you it is. After doing consultation with you, honestly, it just completely shifted my perspective of colors in general. It's even with my job, there's so much branding and marketing involved in it. And that even goes in depth with how to market a brand. Yes. And that's even helped, because I now look at things in a different way. How people are going to perceive certain colors towards a brand and how it's going to make them feel, especially on like a supermarket shelf or a department store shelf. How are people going to see when they look at it? How do you want them to feel? So I feel like it's even gone in depth enough with my job. So yeah, it's been fascinating.
Yeah, especially, and you said you were in the F&B industry, correct? And that's super important, actually, the colors. Because you're really working with the person's emotions. So like even just making your customer feel hungry or crave towards a thing, like having that, even if it's a slight orange color, it makes a world of difference because automatically the person starts craving it, So it's very important. And actually the guest we had before you is also in marketing, and she mentioned that she's like, it helped her find the brand identity when she was working with her projects.
Yeah, definitely, because it all comes down to consumer psychology.
Yes.
And it's really playing into people's emotions, like you said. So having certain colors, if you've got a brand that focuses on wellness and health, using brighter colors, like your whites and your greens, things that sort of symbolize that, or more energy like blues, oranges, but then if you've got a brand that's maybe like more fast foody, other more powerful colors that sort of are more attention grabbing. So yeah, it's honestly just fascinating. And I don't think people really understand just how much of a science it is until they actually do it, and how it completely shifts your thinking in so many ways beyond what you wear. Even just walking down the street. And you just think, why have they done that, or why have they chosen that? Even whether you're in marketing or you're not, it's just a great example of it.
Yeah, it's true. After you do the session, you start analyzing everyone around you.
Yeah, and sometimes you see someone walking down the street and you're like, ooh, maybe that's not me.
Like red flag.
Yeah, so true.
That's very interesting. And how do you feel when you received the color report? What were the parts that you found interesting, or maybe it was a surprise for you to learn about yourself?
I would definitely say the fragrance that you recommended, because I always gravitate towards those smells.
Yeah.
And now it's like jasmine, for instance, is a great example.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with anything jasmine smelling, and it makes sense. And also the other one was patterns. And I would also say like fabric as well. But I would say the thing that shocked me the most was patterns, because when I do wear specific patterns that are similar to the ones that were in my sheet, for instance, I do get tons of compliments. Oh, that really suits you, or it makes you look sort of, really brings out your face, or, comments like that.
Yes.
So I definitely found that side of things really interesting. And the fact that you get the book. Oh, my husband and I were so excited about that. Honestly, because it's fat, because you just shove it in your handbag and you take it to the shops with you. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then I'm sort of stood there in Zara and everyone's looking at me and they're like, what's going on? But you're there with your book and you can it really helps you. You almost feel like you're not sort of navigating it alone, because sometimes it can be overwhelming, especially if you go through almost like an overhaul of what you should and shouldn't be wearing. And yeah, it just gives you a bit more of that confidence to be like, okay, I'm sort of really going in the right direction.
Okay, fantastic. And after you did the session, like as a couple, like what did you notice change in each other after you had done the color analysis?
I think, when you sort of get dressed to meet friends, or you go for dinner and you sort of get dressed and you're, oh, how do I look? Or, something like that. I feel like we always say, oh, what do you think I should wear, this or this? And we always gravitate towards the colors that are now our color palettes. Yeah. I really found that we do that so much more now. And I feel like we have an appreciation of what really suits each other. So, my husband will say, oh my gosh, like that's such a lovely color on you, especially when we're around the shops and things, and I say the same, but it's almost as if we have a different perspective of it, because we would pick out things that we wouldn't usually pick out, especially my husband, I would say, because of his hair color, and I feel like now he's like super confident wearing, as I said, like an orange or a red. It doesn't faze him anymore. It was almost like this sort of mental barrier, and now it's just been lifted. So it's really incredible. Really incredible.
Amazing. And I'm excited that after my session, then you guys got married.
Yeah, we did. And my dress was like ivory. Yeah. Because you said not white, like an off-white ivory will suit you. Yeah. And so, yeah, my dress was that. And Callum wore, I would say, he wore like this beautiful, he wore a kilt because he's Scottish. Yeah. It was sort of like hot pink tartan, sort of grey and hot pink, and then his jacket was sort of grey with those hot pink accents. Looked amazing. You would have been proud. Would have made you proud. I would have been proud. Yeah, so it was brilliant.
And I think normally maybe he wouldn't have chosen that. Like
maybe not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Not to the level. We've got to show you photos.
Yes, I would love to see it.
Yeah, I would definitely say we wouldn't usually. I probably would have gone for a dress that was like white, and he probably would have gone for something a bit more different. So, yeah. And did the color palette also play a role in like the decoration and so forth? Did you like apply? Yeah, 100%. All the colors were like, for the flowers, for instance, all wildflowers. So it was very much like your pastels, colors like, I would say it was very much suited for me. But, pastels and things like that, and it was just really, again, the tablecloths weren't white. They were sort of a lovely pattern of like almost like a maroony color, because then it suited him. Yeah. So I almost feel like we gravitate towards these colors now without even thinking about it. Right. Whereas before we probably would have really played it safe. Right. And I'm so glad we don't do that anymore.
It's wonderful because, it makes it even easier to even combine both the palettes together where it aesthetically looks balanced.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. Amazing.
Definitely.
And what would you say was your aha moment?
I would definitely say, I know I keep going back to it, but when you held that black up to me, and I just thought, why have you been wearing this? I think that was really clicked in my head. And then when you then started pulling out, the golds and the pastels and, the colors that really suit me, I just thought, wow, this makes total sense. My entire face lifted. I can't even explain the feeling. It was just so crazy. So much so we went back after the consultation with you, and I just looked at my wardrobe and I completely rearranged the entire thing.
Right.
And I thought, right, these colors you can use and these colors we'll see, you know? They've not been touched since. That's why I'm saying we've got to donate them.
Right.
You know, because they just will not be used again.
It's true. And I mean, this way, at least you're doing justice to yourself.
Yeah.
And donating is a good thing. You're helping others. So there we go.
Definitely.
Fantastic. And one last question.
Go for it.
So, who would you recommend this service to, and why?
Everyone. If you're watching this and you're on the fence, do it. You know, or if you're listening, do it. Anyone who's even thought about it, someone who's maybe lacks confidence, maybe you lack confidence because you're not actually wearing the things that are serving you, you know, or maybe if you're tired all the time, that's another one. I found myself with so much more energy because I was wearing clothes that made me feel energized when I looked in the mirror, you know, just small things like that. If you find yourself, you're in a situation where, you know, you feel, I don't know, down the dumps about your life, or you feel lack of energy, or, you know, you feel lack of confidence, or you walk into a room and you don't feel like you sort of command the room or anything like that, do it. Because it will change your life. I'm not being funny. Like it will make such a difference in the way you approach everything. Your job, your friends, you know, your family relationships, everything. It makes such a difference.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. This was great feedback, and I'm so happy to hear all the good news. Thank you
Thanks,
so much
Fatima.
for coming.
No, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And that's a wrap on today's Chromatic Connection. A huge thank you to our guests for sharing their brilliant palette of insights with us. If this conversation sparks something in you, hit subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with someone who'd love to add more color to their perspective. Until next time, remember, life's too vivid to stay monochromatic. And that's a wrap on today's Chromatic Connection. A huge thank you to our guests for sharing their brilliant palette of insights with us. If this conversation sparks something in you, hit subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with someone who'd love to add more color to their perspective. Until next time, remember, life's too vivid to stay monochromatic.